my whole speech, I just want to take a second to thank our hosts, Jimmy and Kathy. It's been a wonderful day, and I'm sure it's only going to get better as we continue celebrating. So if we could just take a second, thank you guys very much. Now, I had the distinct privilege and honor of going to Rice University at the same time as Kevin and Christy. In fact, Kevin and I, as well as Thomas McDermott and Matt Cahill, together formed what's now recognized as the greatest suite of all time at Rice University. So I'm just going to take a second. I want to tell a quick story about Kevin, a quick story about Christy, and then I'll be done. So Kevin, in order to tell this story, unfortunately I'm going to have to break one of the more sacred rules that we have as men. I'm going to have to share some events from a bachelor party. So, believe it or not, we were in Las Vegas, and we had just finished dinner, and we were going to a club called The Bank in the Bellagio. And our friend Dan Adler had set us up, so somehow we were able to cut the line, and ahead of all these far more attractive people, to go in. And the first place we walked through was a room that had crystal champagne from floor to ceiling. So I was already in a great place because I had achieved my lifelong dream of living in a rap video. A short amount of time. So we get in, a hostess shows us to our booth, bottles are brought out, and it doesn't take very long for a lot of women to sort of notice us from around the club. And these women, who I believe had vastly overestimated our net worth, and who were wearing remarkably tight clothes, paired with what appeared to be looser morals, started circling our booth, much like sharks from the Discovery Channel, has been dropped into the water. So it's at this point, of course, that Kevin pulls me aside to catch up. We sit down, and Kevin starts talking about Denver. He just moved to Denver. How much he liked the city. But it didn't take very long before Kevin started talking about Christy. Kevin started talking about how Christy was the perfect girl for him, how happy he was with her, and how he'd be proposing in the near term. So I listened to all of this very seriously, and I grew concerned as Kevin continued to speak, because I worried that my friend had somehow gone blind. Because obviously, he's not noticing everything. Then, I thought a little bit more, and I got really happy. Because I knew that we'd be having another bachelor party. As you may have gathered, they're a lot of fun. But then I put my selfishness aside for a second, and I was just so happy for Kevin. And I was so happy for Christy. Because, Kevin and Christy has found, peace, comfort, and love, and we shall be so lucky. I could go on, much like Paula about Christy, I could go on for a long time listing all the wonderful things about Kevin. His loyalty as a friend, the kindness and respect that he treats people with, the fact that he always seems to look like he just walked out of an Xterra commercial. The list goes on and on and on. It'd be fair to say that Kevin really brings the total package to the table.
Yeah.
The one thing that I'd like to highlight about Kevin in this speech is Kevin's ability to make a decision and follow through on it. I always respected in college Kevin's ability to get things done. It seemed like he just put his mind to something, and you just see his name on the president's honor roll, or job offers would start rolling in, a chug stand would be constructed, an epic party would be thrown. It was just a matter of Kevin putting his mind to it, and it would be done. So in our conversation in Las Vegas that night, it was very obvious that Kevin had made some big decisions. Kevin had decided that he truly, truly loved Christy. And Kevin had decided that he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her. And Kevin had decided that he wanted to be the best husband that he could be. And I have no doubt that Kevin will be just as successful in those endeavors as he has in everything else. So that's Kevin. Now I'd like to talk about Christy. So Christy, there was a weekend, Hurricane Ike was coming through towards Houston, and I was living in Houston at this point, and Kevin and Christy were both in Dallas, although living in separate places. And I needed to make the decision around whether to stay for the hurricane or whether to leave and go north to Dallas. So I did what any strong man would do. It was Friday before the storm. I waited until the dead of night and fled town like a coward. So I headed north and had a wonderful weekend with all my friends, Team Dallas. And things were coming to a close on Sunday. And I wasn't sure what was going on back in Houston or whether I could return my apartment. So I called my friend and roommate, Matt Cahill, for a status report on what was going on. And I apologize for my courtesy in advance. This is a direct quote from the distinguished gentleman with the camera.
I don't even know what's coming.
So I asked Matt, what's going on with the apartment? Paul, there's no electricity, there's no water. I've used both toilets, and now I don't know where I'm going to poop. Needless to say, the situation in Houston was bleak. So, being surrounded by my friends, I made the somewhat pathetic request if I could crash with anyone for a few days until the situation improved. And before I had even finished the words, Christy and her roommate Alicia graciously offered up their place for me to stay. So Monday morning came, and they began their daily routine. And I was just on their couch like a slob, basically waiting for things to get better. And as they got into the week, and I sort of shifted from guest to intruder, they just showed such incredible kindness, grace, and hospitality, and it's something I'll never forget. I think it's always very easy to be friends when things are going great, but it's considerably harder when you have a friend in need. And I feel truly fortunate to have a friend in Chris. So, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have a Madame Cleo's card deck. I don't know what the future holds. But based on how Christy treated someone running away from a rainstorm, I feel very confident that she'll be a tremendous wife and mother. So now, we could all raise our glasses. Kevin and Christy, I think I speak for a lot of people here when I say that you're not just great friends, but that you're an examples of how to lead a great life. So, on behalf of everyone here, wish you health, happiness, and most especially love.